I didn't want to die. I mean, and I didn't see much chance of living, but I was gradually getting frozen up. And
A century may have passed since the Titanic sank into the frigid waters of the North Atlantic, yet its story refuses to fade. The tragedy lingers not only in books or films, but in the photographs left behind, fragments of a world abruptly cut short. These images, once black and white and blurred by time, now speak anew through the lens of AI restoration, revealing details invisible to the naked eye. Faces frozen in joy or contemplation, glances exchanged across decks, and tiny inscriptions, on wood and fabric, all whisper secrets that have survived the years. Each photo is more than a picture. It is a fragment of truth, a frozen heartbeat of life aboard a ship believed to be unsinkable. Some photographs, when examined closely, reveal evidence that could challenge long-held beliefs. An iceberg photographed 2 days before the Titanic's collision matches survivor sketches with eerie precision. Life vests, once symbols of hope, appear as fragile and dangerous as they truly were. Children play on the decks, their laughter silenced forever, while grand staircases and luxurious dining rooms offer glimpses into a gilded world oblivious to the looming disaster. Even construction photos of rivets and hulls reveal subtle flaws, suggesting that the Titanic's fate may have been sealed long before it ever left port. As AI peels back the haze of time, these images become more than historical records. They become witnesses. Each frame offers insight into ordinary moments that turned extraordinary by tragedy. From the smallest, most personal objects to sweeping views of shipboard life, we are given a window into the human spirit, a testament to resilience, vulnerability, and the fleeting nature of existence. Today, we delve into 50 unforgettable Titanic photographs, revealing stories lost to history, details unseen, and secrets that only the camera, combined with modern technology, can now unveil. 2 days before the Titanic's fateful encounter, Captain W. Wood of the SS Etonian captured a photograph of a massive iceberg while crossing the Atlantic. The image, black and white and unassuming at first glance, would later take on an almost supernatural significance. Wood meticulously noted the coordinates, placing the iceberg just miles from the Titanic's collision point on April 14, 1912. Upon his arrival in New York, he developed the photograph and boldly inscribed it as the iceberg that would doom the ship. AI analysis today confirms what survivors had long sketched from memory. The shape, ridges, and fissures match descriptions with chilling precision. Forensic. Examination of the photograph reveals subtle details in the iceberg's surface, the jagged peaks, the smooth ice faces, the thin cracks running deep into the frozen mass. These features, almost imperceptible in the original, now appear in stark clarity. Historians shiver at the realization that this single natural formation, captured accidentally by a passing ship, became the harbinger of death for more than 500 souls. What makes this photograph so haunting is not only its historical accuracy, but its profound inevitability. The iceberg is frozen in time, towering over an empty sea, unaware of the human tragedy it would trigger. Each crack and shadow seems to foreshadow the impending collision, as if nature itself were silently marking the fate of those aboard the Titanic. In this solitary image, we glimpse both the grandeur of the natural world and the fragility of human ambition. A reminder that even the mightiest engineering marvels can be humbled by forces far beyond control. Titanic carried over 2,000 life vests, a reassuring statistic for passengers unaware of the lurking peril. Constructed from heavy cork pads sewn into canvas and fastened with thin fabric ties, these vests seemed a safeguard against disaster. Yet, survivor accounts reveal a more sinister reality. The very equipment designed to preserve life could, upon impact with the icy Atlantic, snap necks or render passengers unconscious. Photographs of these life vests, preserved in museums or private collections, show their rugged construction yet fragility. AI enhancement uncovers fine stitching patterns and subtle wear, telling a story of preparation and neglect simultaneously. While some passengers were kept afloat long enough to be rescued, countless others succumbed to hypothermia or blunt trauma. A few vests survive today as haunting relics. One, sold at auction for $119,000, bears the scars of the ocean, the canvas stiff and waterlogged, a tangible reminder of the lives it failed to save. Each life vest tells a dual tale, hope in the face of disaster and the cruel limitations of human ingenuity against nature's indifference. In these objects, we see the intersection of innovation and tragedy, the thin line between salvation and loss. 6-year-old Robert Douglas Spedden, a first-class passenger, was captured in one of the most tender photographs of the Titanic. Sitting on the deck, he played with a spinning top, oblivious to the catastrophe that lay ahead. His coat, finely woven and buttoned with care, catches the light in AI-enhanced images, revealing the intricate patterns and textures invisible in the original print. Polished wood beneath his feet gleams, reflecting the sun's faint rays, while the ship's railings frame the scene in quiet symmetry. The photograph gains poignancy when considering the boy's fate. Robert slept through the collision and awoke, to the nurse's gentle reassurance that they would see the stars. He was rescued by lifeboat, carried to safety while the world he knew sank beneath the waves. Yet even this brief escape could not shield him from the fragility of life. 3 years later, Robert perished in one of Maine's earliest recorded automobile accidents, his life snatched away in a different, unforeseen tragedy. This single image embodies the innocence and vulnerability of youth aboard the Titanic. It captures a fleeting moment of joy and normalcy, juxtaposed against a disaster of incomprehensible scale. AI restoration allows us to see Robert not just as a figure in a photograph, but as a living, breathing child whose story was abruptly interrupted. In his gaze, in the details of his coat and the spinning top, we witness the delicate balance between life and fate, a reminder that even amidst luxury and comfort, tragedy can arrive unannounced. Titanic's gymnasium, located on the boat deck near the grand staircase, was a marvel of modern luxury. Passengers could engage in physical exercise on electric camels, rowing machines, or stationary bicycles. It was a sanctuary of movement and vitality, offering a respite from the monotony of the voyage. AI-enhanced photographs reveal minute details, scuffs on the wooden floors, smudges on mirrors, and the warm grain of polished oak paneling. The energy of passengers is palpable, the slight indentation of a shoe, the faint reflection of a rowing machine in a mirror, moments frozen in time that now emerge with startling clarity. The first-class instructor, T.W. Macaulay, guided sessions here, earning $1 per passenger. He would remain at his post until the eve of the sinking, perishing alongside those he trained. These photographs capture more than luxury. They reveal human presence, effort, and routine. Each detail, the curve of a handle, the alignment of a pedal, the gleam of polished metal, tells of a life aboard a ship oblivious to its impending doom. The gymnasium is a testament to the everyday rituals of the Titanic, a reminder that ordinary moments of discipline and recreation existed even in the shadow of catastrophe. Reverend F.M. Brown photographed the Titanic's lifeboats neatly stowed. Beside the bridge, a scene that now carries an ironic weight. The ship had 20 lifeboats, enough to save barely half the passengers and crew, exceeding outdated maritime law but falling tragically short of necessity. AI image scaling confirms that had there been double the number of lifeboats, all aboard, could have been saved. Yet that night, many lifeboats were launched only partially filled as officers feared overloading might compromise the lowering apparatus. Earlier that morning, a routine lifeboat drill had been scheduled but was abruptly canceled, a decision whose consequences would prove fatal. The photographs themselves are haunting. Gleaming wood lined with canvas, empty seats waiting for lives that would never occupy them. Each image is a silent testament to miscalculation, human error, and bureaucratic rigidity. AI restoration allows us to see ropes, hooks, and subtle wear patterns, evidence that the equipment was prepared but insufficient, poised for action yet rendered tragically ineffective. These lifeboats, silent and still in the photographs, become symbols of both hope and failure, reminders of the cruelly arbitrary hand of fate. Construction photographs of Titanic's hull. This compromised zone, when struck by the iceberg, may have ruptured more readily than engineers anticipated, accelerating flooding. The notion that the Titanic's fate was partially preordained by construction flaws adds a chilling layer to the disaster. Rivets, once seen as mere mechanical necessities, now appear as silent witnesses to a tragedy that engineering alone could not prevent. The photographs capture both grandeur and fragility. Massive steel plates, meticulously hammered rivets, and human labor strained against the limits of technology. Each detail, from imperfections in the rivets to subtle irregularities in plating, tells a story of ambition intersecting with inevitability, of human ingenuity tested by forces beyond comprehension. These images are not only historical records, but forensic evidence, connecting engineering, error, and catastrophe. On May 31, 1911, more than 100,000 spectators gathered along the River Lagan in Belfast to witness the Titanic's launch. Photographs capture the bustling crowd, excited and unaware of the tragedy to come. AI facial recognition has matched several faces from these images to later photographs taken in Queenstown just days before the ship's final departure. Among them is a man whose presence aboard the Titanic remains unrecorded, a ghostly reminder of lives lost and memories erased. 22 tons of soap and tallow were used to grease the hull for its entry into the water, allowing the launch to take only 62 seconds. Still photographs capture frozen moments of exhilaration, children perched on railings, women in ornate hats leaning forward, men in coats bracing against the wind. In each face, there is hope, pride, and wonder juxtaposed against the knowledge of the ship's ultimate fate. The launch images are more than historical records. They are glimpses of humanity at its most optimistic, untainted by the shadow of disaster. Through AI restoration, details emerge that had long been hidden: folds in clothing, expressions caught mid-laughter, the sparkle of sunlight on the water. These frozen fragments remind us that every tragedy carries with it countless untold stories, ordinary lives suspended between anticipation and unforeseen calamity. The Titanic's second-class dining room, located on D-deck, was a space of understated elegance. It could seat nearly 400 passengers at long mahogany tables bolted firmly to the deck. AI-enhanced images revealed deep crimson upholstery, polished wood, and faint carvings, including a date, April 10th, likely etched by a passenger who would later survive. Music filled the room after dinner, played by a modest ensemble, while meals were prepared in the same galley serving first-class passengers. Despite being a step below the grandeur of first-class accommodations, the dining room offered comfort, sophistication, and an atmosphere of community. The AI restoration brings forth details invisible to the naked eye: scratches on chair legs, subtle reflections of candlelight on the tabletop, and the precise alignment of place settings. These photographs allow us to imagine families and friends gathered for conversation, laughter, and meals, moments that now exist only in memory. In every chair, plate, and carving lies a story, a human heartbeat forever preserved in the frame. Taos. First-class reading and writing room was a haven for quiet reflection, predominantly for women seeking a retreat from the social bustle. Furnished with silk-upholstered chairs, tall windows, and Georgian-style decor, It exuded calm sophistication. AI contrast enhancement reveals the faint silhouette of a seated figure at the far window, someone never identified. This subtle presence hints at a life lived quietly aboard the ship, an individual story now lost to history. Passengers could borrow books or write letters, engaging in solitary or reflective moments, yet these routines were fleeting against the backdrop of impending disaster. Every detail in the restored photograph, the delicate folds of a chair's silk cover, the sheen of polished wood, the glimmer of sunlight on the floor, offers insight into daily life aboard the Titanic. The mysterious figure adds a layer of intrigue, a silent witness to the final days of an extraordinary ship. The first-class smoking room, reserved for men, was an elegant chamber adorned with inlaid mahogany, stained glass windows, and a fireplace crowned by Norman Wilkinson's painting, Approach to the New World. AI colorization recreates the warm glow of the room, capturing the ambiance described in survivor accounts. Passengers played cards and shared conversation until the early hours of April 14th. Among them were notable figures, such as Major Archibald Butt and Francis Millet, some of whom eventually fled while others stayed behind, awaiting the inevitable. The photographs depict a space where life continued almost normally, a final enclave of leisure before the ship descended into chaos. Through AI restoration, we can now see subtle reflections in glass, patterns on furniture, and the precise arrangement of objects, each hinting at the lives that once occupied the room. The smoking room becomes not just a location, but a testament to human resilience and denial, a final stage for ordinary routines interrupted by extraordinary calamity. Construction photographs of the Titanic reveal over 3 million rivets holding steel plates together. Many were hammered by hand, often without safety gear, highlighting the immense labor and inherent risks involved. AI-enhanced close-ups reveal tiny imperfections and micro-cracks in several rivet heads, flaws later corroborated in recovered wreckage. Historians debate whether these low-quality rivets, particularly in forward sections, contributed decisively to hull failure upon iceberg impact. Yet even without consensus, the photographs capture the enormity and danger of the shipbuilding process. Workers, their faces smeared with grime, hammers suspended mid-air, and steel plates aligned meticulously, provide a visceral sense of the human effort behind the unsinkable ship. The images, enhanced for detail, reveal textures invisible to the original eye, the subtle deformation of metal, fingerprints pressed into rivet heads, and the glint of sunlight on steel. Each frame is a silent record of ambition, precision, and vulnerability, reminding viewers that even technological marvels are subject to human imperfection. A candid photograph captures Captain Edward J. Smith during a deck inspection days before the Titanic's departure. AI enhancement reveals 2 crew members in the background, later identified through genealogy by descendants unaware of their ancestors' service. Captain Smith was known for his thorough inspections and adherence to routine, yet he missed the lifeboat drill on Sunday, a lapse that has become one of the voyage's most disputed openings. The photograph, frozen in time, shows a man dedicated to order and discipline, yet unaware that fate would soon render all preparations tragically insufficient. The image allows us to glimpse not only the captain, but the crew whose daily labor was vital, yet ultimately unable to prevent disaster. Each folded sleeve, polished shoe, and attentive gaze tells of responsibility, hierarchy, and human limitations. Rare photographs capture children chasing balls across the Titanic's deck, fleeting moments of innocence in the shadow of looming catastrophe. AI enhancement reveals faint white star line logos on the toys, suggesting promotional items given to young passengers. First-class children enjoyed expansive deck spaces for play, yet glimpses of ordinary joy extended across all classes. These images preserve laughter and motion, frozen in time, and highlight the stark contrast between childhood innocence and the tragedy that awaited. Families emigrating to America, children at play on luxurious decks, each scene carries poignant resonance, a visual echo of the lives abruptly disrupted by disaster. No original photographs of the Titanic's grand staircase exist, but AI reconstruction using images of her sister ship, Olympic, and Nat Geo 2025 recreations allows us to visualize the sweeping oak banisters, ornate wrought iron railings, and domed skylight. This magnificent area served as a convergence point for first-class passengers and showcased the ship's luxury. AI details highlight intricate carvings, reflective polish, and the natural light bathing the space. The grand staircase was more than architecture. It was a stage for social interaction, a place of elegance, and a symbol of the ship's ambition. In these reconstructions, modern audiences can virtually experience the grandeur and subtle humanity preserved in the ship's most iconic interior. An early morning photograph captures the calm North Atlantic from Titanic's boat deck. AI colorization brings the pale pink and gold horizon to life, matching survivor descriptions. Passengers taking in the fresh air would have seen ordinary beauty, unaware that within days, chaos and loss would engulf the ship. The juxtaposition of serene natural beauty with human tragedy intensifies the poignancy of this image, frozen forever in time. Photographs of the Titanic's kitchens show chefs standing proudly among gleaming copper pots and cooking ranges. AI enhancement reveals tiled walls, menu cards listing dishes served on April 14th, and the meticulous organization of the space. These images capture daily life in motion, a hidden world of labor and preparation that made the luxury above possible. Every gleaming utensil and polished surface reflects discipline, care, and the human effort behind the Titanic's grandeur, moments lost when disaster struck hours later. The promenade deck was a space of both leisure and observation, where passengers wandered for fresh air, conversation, or simple contemplation. AI-enhanced photographs reveal the intricate woodwork of deck furniture, polished rails, and the subtle reflections of sunlight on metal fittings. First-class passengers strolled in tailored coats and wide hats, while second-class families navigated the deck's narrower walkways, children skipping between legs and laughing. The photographs capture frozen gestures, a hand brushing against a railing, a hat tilted in the wind, the gleam of shoes on polished planks. AI restoration unveils minute details, the stitching of gloves, the grain of deck wood, the faint crest of the White Star Line on deck chairs. From the bow, the endless Atlantic stretches into the horizon, placid yet indifferent, foreshadowing the tragedy that lay ahead. Each image of the promenade deck is a microcosm of Titanic life, elegance, leisure, and the fragile temporality of human joy on a vessel unaware of its impending doom. Titanic's cabins tell intimate stories of daily life. First-class rooms featured ornate furniture, polished wood, and plush bedding, while second-class cabins were simpler but comfortable. AI-enhanced photographs reveal personal belongings left behind. Handkerchiefs, letters, small trunks, and books stacked neatly or carelessly on tables. In one restored image, a diary lies open, the faint pencil strokes revealing a passenger's thoughts, now immortalized by AI restoration. Trunks reveal embroidered initials, photographs tucked inside, remnants of lives packed in haste. Every object reflects personality, class, and anticipation of a new life across the Atlantic. The cabins are silent witnesses to the everyday routines, abruptly interrupted, sleeping, reading, writing, dressing, conversations, all captured in meticulous detail through AI restoration, allowing us to reconstruct a world otherwise lost to history. Titanic's musicians, immortalized in photographs, brought music to the ship's daily life. AI enhancements reveal instruments in gleaming detail, violins, cellos, brass horns, and sheet music. In one photograph, fingers hover over strings, poised mid-performance, capturing the final joy and normalcy of life aboard. Accounts describe the orchestra playing until the last moments of the disaster, their courage providing comfort to panicked passengers. AI analysis uncovers subtle details, the crease of sheet music, scuff marks on instrument cases, and reflections in polished wood surfaces. These photographs reveal the artistry, dedication, and human presence in moments of leisure and heroism, underscoring the ship's vibrant culture before calamity struck. The bridge of the Titanic was the heart of navigation and command. Officers and crew were photographed reviewing charts, monitoring compasses, and adjusting controls. AI-enhanced images reveal subtle details, the polished wheel, navigation instruments, and even faint chalk marks on charts. Captain Smith's presence in some images emphasizes authority and vigilance, yet the photographs also reveal tension. Assistants studying calculations, officers adjusting signals, and the quiet prelude to an unforeseen disaster. Every tool, chart, and wheel becomes a testament to human precision and the stakes of navigating a ship designed to defy the Atlantic. Titanic's engine room hummed with ceaseless motion, where stokers shoveled coal and engineers monitored massive boilers. Photographs, when enhanced with AI, reveal faces streaked with soot, riveted machinery glinting in dim light, and the heat shimmer of the furnaces. These images illustrate the grueling labor required to power the Titanic, every swing of a shovel and turn of a wheel contributing to the ship's forward motion. AI restoration highlights textures, the ridges of metal plates, rivet heads, and worn handrails. The engine room was a world apart, a vital underworld whose toil made luxury above possible, a silent testament to human effort and endurance in the shadow of disaster. Photographs of prominent passengers like John Jacob Astor, Benjamin Guggenheim, and Isidor Straus provide intimate glimpses into the lives aboard Titanic. AI-enhanced portraits reveal the fine detail of clothing, jewelry, and facial expressions. Astor, seated with an air of confidence, holds his coat with an elegant hand. Guggenheim appears contemplative, while Strauss sits beside his wife Ida, their shared gaze immortalized in subtle shadow and light. These images, enhanced by AI, uncover details often missed: the sheen of buttons, the weave of coats, the faint reflection of ship interiors in polished surfaces. They remind us that Titanic was more than a ship. It was a world of individual stories, ambition, and human connection. Each photograph tells a story of preparation, expectation, and the fragility of life, emphasizing the depth of loss endured. When the ship sank, the Grand Saloon was the hub of first-class social life, adorned with chandeliers, polished tables, and gilded decor. AI-enhanced photographs reveal passengers engaged in conversation, serving trays arranged elegantly, and subtle reflections of light on glass and metal. Details invisible in original images, ornate carvings, the alignment of chairs and table settings emerge with AI restoration. The Grand Saloon was a stage for leisure and socializing, a space where ordinary conversations occurred oblivious to the approaching tragedy. Each photograph captures both grandeur and human intimacy, preserving fleeting moments in luxurious settings. Titanic's Turkish baths offered opulent relaxation, pools, massage tables, and leisure spaces. AI-enhanced photographs reveal tiles, water reflections, and polished brass fixtures. Passengers sought refuge in warmth and comfort, indulging in relaxation that juxtaposed sharply with the icy Atlantic outside. The images preserve luxury, tranquility, and routine, highlighting the human desire for comfort even in temporary isolation. AI reveals details otherwise invisible: slight ripples in water, reflections on marble surfaces, and glimpses of passengers' clothing and posture. Photographs along Titanic's portside capture deck railings, ocean horizons, and lifeboat stations. AI restoration highlights subtle textures, rope fibers, paint cracks, and faint insignias. Passengers leaning against rails, observing the Atlantic, appear frozen in quiet anticipation. These images juxtapose serenity with impending disaster, the endless sea a silent witness to human ambition and vulnerability. Jack Phillips and Harold, bride captured in AI-enhanced photographs, manage telegraph equipment tirelessly. Faint pencil notes and log books are visible, detailing ice warnings hours before collision. The room is cramped yet functional, instruments precise and gleaming. These images preserve human diligence and heroism, reflecting the critical role of communication in disaster response. Titanic's bell and clock marked daily life, meals, shifts, and ceremonies. AI-enhanced photographs reveal brass shine, engraved numerals, and subtle reflections. These mundane yet essential objects connect us to the rhythm of life aboard, emphasizing the human need for order amid luxury and tragedy. Photographs of crew quarters reveal bunks, lockers, and personal effects. AI restoration exposes letters, small books, and faint carvings, each telling a story of daily life and camaraderie. These spaces, modest and functional, contrast sharply with first-class luxury, illustrating the spectrum of human experience aboard Titanic. Survivors recall the chaos as lifeboats departed, passengers shouted, and water rose. AI restoration of photographs from this time captures faint shadows, lifeboat positions, and deck reflections. Faces show fear, courage, and resignation. These images, combined with accounts, reveal the final moments of a ship and its passengers, an orchestra of human emotion frozen forever. AI enhancement illuminates details otherwise lost. Clothing patterns, the glint of metal, and subtle light changes, preserving both history and humanity. Titanic's indoor playroom was a rare sanctuary for younger passengers, filled with toys, games, and imaginative spaces. AI-enhanced photograph deck chairs lined the promenades, offering passengers spaces to relax, socialize, or gaze at the Atlantic. AI-enhanced images reveal their textures, painted wood, faint logos of the White Star Line, and signs of wear from countless visitors. In these photos, we see couples leaning back, children peering over rails,